welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today is the 25th day of the Inkvent calendar and we are going to check out that final ink. But before we do, I thought it would be cool just to go back and take a look at the previous 24 inks from the calendar. Here I have my ink journal, and this is the ink. We're just going to put it to the side for just a moment. And this is a Chic Sparrow leather cover in the Scout model, and it houses my ink journal, which is the Galen Leather 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. And so let's go ahead and start at the beginning. And I've taken the liberty of going ahead and bringing the swatches because it's pretty late right now. While I'm recording this, it's like midnight, Christmas on the 25th. And it's not a lot of light, so this artificial light, I'm hoping it's not too harsh, but we do have swatches so that we can get a better look. So the very first day of the Inkvent calendar was Fabulous Gold. It was a shimmer ink, and I'm going to admit that I did try writing with this, and it came across, this is really bright, much lighter than I anticipated. But it is still a very nice color, and the swatch is absolutely gorgeous. Next was Cashmere Rose, a beautiful deep dusty pink. This does have shimmer to it as well, very light shimmer, but it was a gorgeous, gorgeous color, and I did journal with this a little bit and loved it. This was a really nice color. Next, we have Early Dusk, kind of not quite royal blue, and really nice color. I would not say it's one of my favorites, but if you're into blue, as most people are, this is probably a really good one for you, and it did behave quite well. Masquerade from Ink 4 from day 4 in the calendar. This was a true dusty pink with just a little bit of gold shimmer to it, and I really, really enjoyed this. I have two favorites from this week, so I'm going to put this to the side because this is one of my favorites for the week. Next was Nightfall. Nightfall, oh my goodness, I believe Nightfall was a chameleon ink, but it is like a blue-black with what looks like a little bit of a red sheen and green shimmer, and it is absolutely gorgeous, and this was my second favorite of the week. So for week 1, I had two favorites. It was Masquerade and Nightfall. We'll just put those to the side. Next was Bucks Fizz, and it actually looked better on the Tomoe River paper than it did on my Wearingeul swatch card. It came out very much lighter, which is usually the opposite. So it is a beautiful color. Not exactly my taste, but a beautiful color nonetheless. Then we had Sweet Dreams. Sweet Dreams was a scented ink, and I was not happy with Sweet Dreams. Let's take a close-up of how it looked on the Tomoe River paper. It just was so wet. It looks like it just bled, and I did not even attempt to try to write with this one. I was not happy with that one at all. Then Jacaranda, I would say this is kind of just a mix between lavender and purple. It's really looking kind of bluish on camera, but trust me, this is a lavendery purple color. That was days 1 through 8, and I did kind of had to put those two pages together so that the colors from the prior page would not bleed through and interrupt the view on the next page. So now days 9 through 16. The first color was Moonbeam, and it is a chameleon ink. And depending on how the light hits it, you could see more of the shimmer. And sometimes it looked silvery, sometimes it looked like a blue shimmer, but Moonbeam, sorry, beautiful ink. I did like that one. Next was Velvet Emerald. Yes, it was a little bit bright of a green for me. I like them either more muted or much more deep, but this is a pretty. It's a standard ink. I definitely would write with this one. It's just may not be the exact shade of green that I was hoping for, but it is still a very nice shade in itself. Next was Glacier. Glacier was a Starbright ink, and I have never heard of Starbright before in the Inkvent. Again, this is my first Inkvent, to be honest with you. But it is it has so much shimmer to it. It's almost overpowering when you look at it actually on the page. Once it dried, it was like overpowering of the color. So number one, it is a very light blue ink, and then it has just shimmer to the max. Next was a chameleon ink by Humbug. Loved this ink. Loved it. It looks kind of fuchsia-y purple. Fuchsia-y, I just made that up. Purple, but it still has that kind of the same color shimmer. And I just really love the deepness and the depth of this ink. It is really nice. So this was my favorite for this week. Next was a standard ink, Weeping Willow. I do like this one. It's kind of like a pinky brown color. It looked a little bit more brown on the Tomoe River paper, but I do see a pinky undertone there, and it does show here. So did enjoy this one. I give that one a thumbs up. Next was Rainbows End. It was a chameleon ink as well. It was a kind of a light purple. I wouldn't call it lavender, but definitely a light purple. I really hate that this is looking kind of blue on camera. At least from my end, looking at the viewfinder, it looks fairly blue, but again, trust, this is a purple ink with pink shimmer. Then Walnut, another standard ink. This was, now I'm going to be honest, I love brown inks, but this one, even this one was just a little flat for me. If you want just a solid, traditional, dark brown ink, Walnut is for you. There's no shimmer, there's no change, there's no nothing. It's just flat brown ink. And the last one for week 2 was Merry and Bright, a very festive, shimmery ink, bright green, definitely one for the holiday. Now we have day 17 through 24, and we started off with Lavender Frost. This is a shimmer ink and really nice. I like this color. I enjoy the deeper purples. It has depth to it. Just the shimmer is not overpowering, but it's kind of a, I guess it's a silvery shimmer, but it looks like it could have a little bit of lavender mixed in as well. And you could see how strong the shimmer is in that swatch as opposed to this swatch. The swatch on the Tomoe River paper seemed much stronger, but definitely was one of my favorites though. Here we have Blizzard. It is a lighter blue with silver shimmer, and it is a shimmer ink, not to be confused with a chameleon. To me, they really kind of go hand in hand, because even a shimmer ink, depending on how the light hits it or what type of light, if you have cool toned lights, warm toned lights, it's going to make your shimmer look a little bit different. So that's Blizzard. Another scented ink, and this is Cinnabon. Very wet. As you can see how it just bled once again. Here on the Tomoe River paper, it bled seriously, and I will not try another scented ink. That just, I'm not a fan at all. Next was Astral. This was a chameleon ink. Initially, when I swatched it, it just looked black. I mean, I don't know if it was just the light wasn't hitting it for the shimmer to shine through. I just assumed it was just the deepest of blacks. But once it dried, it has a lovely green shimmer on it. And you can see it here as well. And that's just a lovely, lovely ink. Another chameleon ink was Tranquility. Tranquility, when I first watched it, looked very pink. And now it's looking very purple that it has dried. And it has the faintest, on this card, bit of kind of a light silvery with a little flecks of green shimmer in it. See if we can, there we go. A little bit better picture of that. And this is it in the Tomoe River paper. I do enjoy that one. The next ink, a shimmer ink, Tinsel. It is a very Christmassy red with just not, at least on the card, not too much shimmer. I do see a little bit what looks like a little green sheen in it, just a little bit. But this is a very nice, the swatch here has a lot of shimmer in it. And for each swatch, I did try to reach to the bottom of the bottle to make sure I got shimmer in there. But yeah, a very nice festive bright red. Next, my favorite for the week was Fireside Snug. This is a standard ink, no shimmer. I do see what looks like a little bit of a black sheen on this card. Initially, and sorry I had a little accident here, but initially, or at least on the Tomoe River paper, it does look more orange than it does on the card. On the card, it looks much deeper. I like both colors. I'm an autumn girl. I love anything brown, burnt orange, golds, and this would definitely, come next fall, this is going to be my color. I love it. And lastly, the 24th swatch was Sugar Snap. A very nice, not quite, I wouldn't say it's muted, almost like a green apple color of green, like say maybe a Granny Smith apple. That's what it makes me think of, a Granny Smith apple. But it does have a little bit of shimmer. This is a shimmer ink, kind of a silvery shimmer, not too overpowering. So yeah, definitely a nice ink. But my favorites thus far were, again, Masquerade, Nightfall, Bah Humbug, Lavender Frost, and Fireside Snug. If I had to choose out of, let's bring this down now that we can see them better. If I had to choose out of these 5, I don't know. Honestly, I think it's going to be between Masquerade and Fireside Snug. And I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to be Fireside Snug. That is just such a beautiful reddish, orangish brown. I love that. Now, Masquerade is not far behind at all. But of the 5, those 2 are my favorite for the first 3 weeks. And now we are going to look at ink from day 25. Let's come in a little bit closer so we can check this out. And the final ink, the signature ink for the calendar, is Raise a Glass. And we do get this in a full bottle. And it does not say if it's a shimmer or what type of ink it is. So I'm going to assume it is a standard ink. And I'm going to, since we're taking up an entire page, swatch this with my aluminum or metal condiment cup, which was inspired by Leanne Likes. And that is a gorgeous deep purple. Gorgeous deep purple. Looking in the viewfinder, it looks rather, I don't know, kind of like more like a violet, or excuse me, maybe an indigo. I feel like I see some blue in there, but no. Let's see, this is Raise a Glass. Man, I love a deep purple. Yeah, this is a standard ink. And it is beautiful. I love it. I'm so glad I got a big bottle of this one because it is, I would definitely be buying one. Definitely. Let's go ahead and cap this so that we don't make a mess. And I have already done a swatch on the card. So it is, you know what? Look at that. It does have shimmer. Look at that. I just noticed it. I was trying to get ahead of the game because we've got things to do over here. And I'm like, let me go ahead and swatch the card. And it looks so deep. It doesn't even look purple. It just depends on how the light hits it. But it is purple with shimmer. And I'm going to give this just a second to dry. And we'll come back and compare the actual swatch with the card here. And I am back. It is pretty much dry, other than I do have kind of a puddle in two spots, so I feel like that's going to take quite a while, but you can still tell that the inks, I believe I was very heavy-handed with the swatch. And so if you're heavy-handed with your ink, or if you're going to use a broad nib, then it's going to come out much darker and probably with much more shimmer. Whereas here, I can see the shimmer. Let's see, can you see it there? I see some black sheening, but this is in person, a very deep, rich purple, and I do see just slight shimmer. But I do think it is a beautiful color. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the series. I've enjoyed testing the inks out and practicing with them, and I can't wait to see what is your favorite ink or inks from the entire calendar. Let me know. And I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and talk to you guys later. Bye.